are some of the areas that you think Allen needs to work on, as you said, to get the most out of his abilities?
You know, I think injuries have derailed some of Allen's development, you know, really since we got here. If we remember, he broke his hand in spring practice. And so, you know, I think Allen's game is so much about developing the fundamentals and the details, the basics. You know, Allen is really, he's big, he's strong, he can run, he can get open. But now it's about precision. It's, you know, route running. It's the ability to separate. You know, it's the ability to consistently catch the football, which I think are things that he made really good improvements on, but I think he can take that to an elite level. An elite level is, you know, what are the best players at his position in the country doing? And I've held him to that standard since I've been here, and it's been really fun to watch him start to hold himself to that standard. And I think that's something that he sees himself now as, and sees himself with the opportunity to do it. But again, now coming back, those are the expectations, and what are you going to do to prepare to meet those expectations at hand?
Can I change the subject?
Please.
Thank you. Yeah. What, just some off-season,
Yeah.
you know, house cleaning, surgeries, you know, full-time staff changes, you know, which, just
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, you know, I think let's start surgery-wise. You know, everybody coming back. You know, Dondre Daly had surgery after the season, but everybody coming back, I think we're really fortunate that we don't have any of those long-term surgeries. Kamari Cottonway had to go get his shoulder cleaned up. He had surgery yesterday. Nothing major, but something that surgery had required. So I think he's the only major surgery of guys that are going to have postseason surgery of our guys, which is really good from our end. Obviously, getting some guys like Jake Campbell and those guys coming back from surgery this year is huge for us. J.D. Wagner, both of those guys were guys that played critical roles for us, had success, and you know, it'll be nice to get them back at 100% health by spring practice, or at least close to it in spring practice.
Will your staff be intact?
Yeah, my expectation is, you know, we got, you know, other than any foreseeable situations where somebody, you know, we know the coaching carousel is just going, but, you know, my expectation is to see everybody back here. And, you know, again, I think that continuity goes just with the players as it does with our staff and our own players, is I think you saw there was great growth because of that continuity. But go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, and Mike Warren, is he not undergoing anything, or everything good with him?
Yeah, as in surgery or anything
Yeah.
like that? No.
Okay.
You know, I think Mike's totally good.
Okay.
You know, was good last week and was able to participate in everything we had going on this week. So totally good.
Mm-hmm. You know, you had a lot of freshmen obviously step up this season, you know, especially on offense. What's kind of the next step for them? And, you know, a lot of times, you know, with Mike last year too, a lot of hype gets with these young guys. What do these young guys have to do to kind of take that next step?
Well, I think the biggest thing is don't buy the hype. You know, and you know, I think that's personal, and that's also, I think, as you know us as a staff, is it's hard to have hype when you're 3-9, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. You know, there was a lot of growth and we did some really good things. But the thing that I really like about our young guys is they're so team driven that I don't think they care about anything but winning. And that's really important to me, and I think it's really important to the success and the future of our football program. And it's great to have great statistics, but if you're getting great statistics and not winning, then what's the reward of that? And, you know, some of those young guys that came in and played for us, they did a great job, and some of them, we wish we didn't have to play, you know, but we did, and they responded by playing really good football by the end of the football season. So, you know, I think that's a huge positive for us going forward. We take that experience that they got, we group it with some of the guys that didn't get a chance to play this year, those redshirt guys who, you know, hopefully garnered great experience in terms of practice and scrimmages and how we set practice up for their development to go forward. And then you come into spring practice, and I think the key for this entire organization is where we left off, and I said this in spring practice going into fall camp, where we left off at the end of the football season, not taking that drastic step back and taking a huge step forward through the spring and through obviously the winter and all those areas where we need to really look at our craft and perfect it. You know, last year we spent so much time teaching, and you guys have heard me say this, that we're following the team a year ago, attitude and effort and investment. Well, when you're working on that, it's hard to work on perfecting your craft in detail and how do I get better. You know, I've always been a firm believer games are won in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August. It's hard to win them if you're trying to catch up on all that stuff during the football season. And, you know, we were playing catch up, I felt like at times in some of those areas, and we need to come in with a great sense of purpose. And hopefully those young guys, as well as the rest of our football team, understand those values.